a deadly nightmare for the narcissist, making him helpless. Welcome to the Narcissist Exposed channel. In this video, we will delve into the concept of the super empath and their role as a formidable adversary to narcissists. Empaths, in general, possess an elevated sensitivity to the emotions of others, allowing them to almost feel the experiences of those around them as if it were their own. They have generous hearts, often leading them to go to great lengths in their relationships. Other people's feelings frequently take precedence over their own, and they harbor a profound desire to aid those in their vicinity. Their senses are finely tuned, and they can become overwhelmed by crowded environments, requiring periods of solitude, preferably in natural surroundings, for rejuvenation. The super empath shares these qualities, but stands out due to their exceptional intuition. While all empaths possess a degree of intuitive understanding, the super empath's intuition is notably heightened. Consequently, they rely more on their instincts than the typical empath. They also find it easier to establish and maintain personal boundaries. However, they also exhibit a higher tolerance for mistreatment, making them particularly attractive targets for narcissists. Narcissists perceive the super empath as a valuable source of emotional energy. Their objective is to undermine their victims' self-confidence and subject them to their control. This endeavor presents a greater challenge when dealing with a super empath. Therefore, if the narcissist can successfully erode the self-belief and self-worth of a super empath, they consider it a significant triumph. The super empath stands out from other empaths due to their unwavering sense of justice. They are courageous individuals who, despite their high tolerance levels, are more likely to confront the narcissist once they recognize their true nature. Moreover, they are also more inclined to sever ties permanently. According to research conducted by experts, most individuals tend to leave an abusive relationship and return approximately 7 times before ultimately breaking free. However, the super empath is far more inclined to depart once and never look back. Their strong commitment to justice enables them to unveil the narcissist's genuine character. They possess the courage to withstand the narcissist's attempts at character assassination, which they perceive as feeble in comparison to what they endured during their relationship with the narcissist. Similar to the typical empath, the super empath actively seeks out the positive qualities in others. However, the super empath possesses a quicker discernment of the discrepancies in a narcissist's behavior and doesn't hesitate to address these inconsistencies. For instance, my former narcissistic partner professed a profound belief in reincarnation and past lives. He frequently expressed his conviction that all of us are interconnected, having lived as both genders, traversing various ethnicities, and experiencing diverse races. Yet, he would often make remarks that were distinctly prejudiced, sexist, or racist. If one genuinely believes in past lives and identifies as having been multiple individuals throughout these lifetimes, how can they harbor sexist or racist views? This contradiction with his proclaimed beliefs was something I openly questioned. Unsurprisingly, this did not sit well with him, as narcissists are resistant to their actions being scrutinized. Moreover, he insisted on his aversion to arguments and complaints. According to him, his ex-girlfriend was perpetually causing disputes over trivial matters. Whether this was accurate or not remains uncertain, as I wasn't privy to their past relationship. However, during our time together, he frequently raised his voice at me with marked intensity. He often claimed that vindictiveness was beneath him, going as far as boasting about his belief in a non-retribution approach. Yet, he undeniably exhibited one of the most vindictive personalities I've ever encountered. He purportedly held monogamy in high regard, yet every one of his relationships was tainted by infidelity. His marriages ended due to extramarital affairs, while subsequent relationships began under similar circumstances, with him still married to someone else. Both the empath and the super empath possess the ability to discern and feel a profound emotional turmoil within a narcissist. Both will endeavor to rescue, transform, or heal the narcissist. However, once an empath comprehends the true nature of a narcissist, they tend to persist in the relationship and continue their efforts to salvage it for a considerably longer period in comparison to a super empath. An empath who departs from a relationship with a narcissist or is discarded by one is more likely to maintain silence regarding their experiences of abuse, particularly in public settings. On the contrary, owing to their inherent bravery and unwavering sense of justice, a super empath is more inclined to unveil the narcissist's genuine character and possibly reciprocate in a similar manner. Reflecting on my personal encounter with my former partner, he would often raise his voice during phone conversations before abruptly terminating them. This typically transpired when I was away from home, making it challenging to address his behavior face-to-face. Invariably, I would initiate contact to resolve the issue after such incidents. However, our final phone conversation culminated with him venting his anger through shouting and yelling. This time, though, I chose to conclude the call decisively. I served him with divorce papers. From that moment forward, I severed all communication with him, implementing complete social media blocks. As part of this process, my former narcissistic partner encountered an entirely novel situation. He had always been the one to terminate relationships and retain the upper hand, a dynamic that narcissists universally seek to secure their sense of victory in relationships. However, this time, he couldn't achieve such dominance over me. I had unveiled his true nature, and despite multiple opportunities for him to amend his conduct, he remained unchanged. His promises of change remained unfulfilled. It dawned on me that our circumstances would remain unimproved, and in fact, they were progressively deteriorating. The negative energy he emanated had become unbearable for me. When it became apparent that I had explored every conceivable avenue to resolve our escalating conflicts, I made the decision to leave. Consequently, super empaths, like most other empaths, must ensure they have exhausted all potential solutions before ending a relationship. Another distinctive trait of super empaths is their eventual prioritization of their own needs over those of the narcissist. This presents a formidable challenge for empaths, as it contradicts their inherent nature. However, when a super empath reaches their limit, they allow more of their own narcissistic traits to surface, while simultaneously diminishing their empathic tendencies. It's essential to recognize that everyone possesses some degree of narcissistic traits, which bolster our self-esteem, and without them, we wouldn't perceive ourselves as unique individuals. Narcissism exists on a spectrum, with individuals classified as narcissists displaying high levels of such traits, coupled with minimal or no empathy toward others. Super empaths typically exhibit higher levels of empathy than most, but can strategically suppress it when necessary for self-preservation. They can selectively apply empathy, enabling them to continue empathizing with others while safeguarding themselves and simultaneously disengaging their empathetic connection with the narcissist. Super empaths exhibit another distinct trait. When a super empath outwits a narcissist and exits the relationship without any explanation or closure, a departure reminiscent of a narcissist's sudden discard of someone, the narcissist finds themselves with no choice but to settle for less in their subsequent relationship. The super empath proved too formidable for them. And while they will still seek out individuals with high levels of empathy, they now require someone much more easily manipulated. If your former narcissistic partner appears to have downgraded in their new relationship, as mine did, it's quite likely that you are a super empath. You were unbreakable, and now they need someone who is vulnerable to manipulation. So, when you leave, and they quickly immerse themselves in their next relationship with an individual kept on standby, there's no need to feel envious. The treatment they receive is not superior to what you endured. In fact, since your departure left deep wounds on them, and you've cut off all communication, depriving them of emotional sustenance, they're likely projecting their resentment towards you onto their new partner. This often leads the new partner to develop hostility toward you, as they believe that your actions caused the narcissist's behavior toward them. Rest assured, however, that not only will they endure similar mistreatment to what you experienced, but it may even be more severe. They will be blamed for perceived transgressions committed by you from the narcissist's perspective. There is no reason to feel envious in this situation. Whether or not you resonate with the concept of being a super empath, it's important to understand that healing from the abuse inflicted by a narcissist is entirely achievable. Breaking the traumatic bond that may have formed is a process that takes time and dedicated effort. However, once you've gone through the healing process, you will emerge even stronger and more self-assured than you were before your encounter with the narcissist. It's like the old saying, "What doesn't kill us makes us stronger," and if you've managed to distance yourself from the narcissist, that's a testament to your inner strength. Even if you're still in a relationship with a narcissist, your resilience is evident as you continue to endure. Seeking help and information, like what you find in resources such as this video, demonstrates your determination to survive and your ability to break free from an abusive situation, eventually thriving in life. Thank you for taking the time to watch and listen. I hope these insights have offered clarity and encouragement on your journey. Always remember that strength comes from within, and it's entirely possible to overcome adversity. If you found this content valuable, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing it with others who may benefit from it. Stay strong, remain hopeful, and know that you are not alone on this journey. Until next time. What happens when the narcissist realizes you figured them out? While some individuals may have an inkling that they are being mistreated, comprehending the full extent of their situation often eludes them. They remain unaware that they are falling victim to manipulation and that the person they are entangled with exhibits signs of a severe mental disorder. Their emotional confusion and lack of understanding keep them ensnared in the relationship. They might endure the mistreatment while masking their true feelings from the narcissist. Some may even make futile attempts to please or flatter the narcissist, or put extra effort into different aspects of the relationship. These efforts, however, prove fruitless. In certain cases, they may try to salvage the relationship through therapy, either alongside the narcissist or individually if they feel they contribute to the issues. However, none of these endeavors lead to a full understanding of the individual's true nature. Nevertheless, a few individuals eventually grasp the reality of the situation. They may recognize that the person they are dealing with is a narcissist, or, at the very least, acknowledge them as a chronic abuser, manipulator, and liar. This revelation typically occurs during a prolonged devaluation phase. For primary intimate partners, it might follow numerous instances of being devalued and subjected to repeated corrective devaluations for secondary non-intimate partners. For secondary intimate partners, or those involved in covert affairs, this realization may come more swiftly due to their heightened emotional investment in the relationship. Whether you find yourself entangled with a narcissist as a secondary partner in a clandestine affair, a primary intimate partner, a family member, a friend, a colleague, or a neighbor, you'll likely come to recognize at some point that you're dealing with a narcissist or a persistently troublesome individual. What follows next? Contrasting this person with the following guidance. If you steer clear of the aforementioned pitfalls, you might opt to directly confront them, accusing them of narcissism or exposing their manipulative, abusive, and deceptive tendencies. What transpires when the narcissist becomes aware that you've fully grasped their true nature? It's essential to note that the majority of narcissists remain blissfully unaware that you have unraveled their genuine character. In fact, they themselves lack such awareness. A substantial portion of narcissists can be categorized as lesser or mid-range. They lack insight into their own behavior. It's not as though they're contemplating the following. I recognize that this individual has identified me as a narcissist. What should I do? I acknowledge that I manipulate, deceive, and exploit people. They've undoubtedly uncovered my true self. What's the best course of action? They simply cannot fathom their own essence. As a result, they are utterly taken aback when they are directly accused of being a narcissist or a manipulator. Such revelations astonish and horrify them. Some may find this challenging to believe. This discrepancy arises from your limited understanding of narcissism and the ramifications of emotional reasoning, as well as your perspective not aligning with that of the narcissists. It's critical to grasp that most narcissists genuinely don't perceive themselves as abusive or manipulative, even if labeled as such. They're not concealing the truth while pretending it doesn't exist. In the case of narcissists who possess a significant degree of self-awareness, we acknowledge that you have discerned our true nature. This situation is indeed exceptional. Nevertheless, the response remains consistent, whether one confronts a narcissist who is oblivious or self-aware. Their initial line of defense invariably involves denial. They tend to react as follows. No, I'm not a narcissist. What are you talking about? These allegations are baseless. Through this denial, they aim to nullify the threat posed to their authority by your accusation. If the person persists in refuting the accusations of narcissism, including being labeled a liar and manipulator, their narcissistic tendencies will ultimately lead them to employ alternative manipulative tactics. The narcissist might choose to withdraw, deny the accusation of narcissism, or even counter-accuse you. In order to silence you, they may resort to physical aggression or embark on a convoluted monologue filled with ambiguous language, attempting to discredit your claims. A somewhat self-aware narcissist might occasionally respond as follows. I can comprehend why you might perceive me as narcissistic. I understand the basis for your conclusion and the reason for your concern. However, it's important to note that such a response doesn't constitute an admission of guilt. A commentator may go on to say, while I acknowledge certain similarities, I maintain the view that the situation is not entirely accurate. Although I may exhibit certain traits, I don't precisely fit the description of a narcissist. Alternatively, they might say, yes, I can see why you hold that perspective. There are instances when my behavior may appear that way. Perhaps I need assistance. However, research in this field indicates that such acknowledgements are insincere and serve as a way for moderately self-aware narcissists to manipulate further. They feign regret and compassion while promising future change, all of which are ultimately hollow commitments. However, these specific types of narcissists typically fail to acknowledge or accept your understanding of their true nature. As their second line of defense, they reject your awareness, beginning with denial and then resorting to additional manipulative tactics. Hence, this is the consequence of accusing a narcissist. Accusing them does not necessarily lead to the dissolution of the relationship, even if you are their primary intimate partner. However, if you are a secondary source, they might choose to place you on pause or the shelf. The primary concern arises when your behavior changes after realizing your connection with a narcissist. It's not about what you accuse them of being, it's about your subsequent actions. Regardless of their level of self-awareness, whether they are lesser or mid-range, or degree, greater or ultra, if your behavior changes, the narcissist will sense that something is amiss. Repeatedly accusing a lesser or mid-range narcissist, even if it feeds their ego, will be seen as a challenge to their authority, prompting them to take necessary actions to regain control. For instance, if you stop complying with the narcissist's requests or reacting as they anticipate in their usual pattern of interaction, these are significant changes in behavior that the narcissist may notice. In the past, you might have pursued the narcissist when they subjected you to the silent treatment. You might have asked, "Why are you avoiding communication with me? What's wrong? Can we resolve this issue?" You might even have sent numerous messages with tears or pleas for them to return. However, refraining from these actions signals to the narcissist that a change has indeed occurred. Changing your behavior has a more significant impact on the narcissist than revealing their own narcissistic tendencies. Continuing to interact with the narcissist in the same manner after accusing them of being narcissistic does not greatly trouble them. It allows them to maintain control and receive the attention and benefits they desire. Your initial accusation challenges their sense of control and must be acknowledged. However, once they effectively address this challenge, it ceases to be a persistent concern. Only highly self-aware, greater or ultra, narcissists would admit that you have recognized their true nature in such situations. Lower range or mid-range narcissists would not, as they use distinct compartmentalization strategies. The true dilemma arises when there is a shift in behavior over time. You may persist in making accusations against the narcissist, cease complying with their demands, or simply respond differently than before. This consistently challenges their control and denies them the attention they seek. You may also stop providing certain benefits that they once enjoyed. In such circumstances, an extremely self-aware, greater or ultra, narcissist would understand the significance of this change. A lesser or mid-range narcissist may not consciously acknowledge this, but they intuitively sense that something is amiss because your altered behavior consistently challenges their authority. If you are a secondary source, you may go through a brief devaluation phase, after which the narcissist will neglect you while focusing on someone else. If you are the primary intimate partner, the devaluation may intensify, and there may be a brief period of relief as the narcissist attempts to regain control. If these strategies fail to bring your behavior back under their control, the narcissist is likely to cut ties with you. Secondary intimate partners may face a prolonged period of neglect. Eventually, they may attempt to reconnect, a process known as hoovering, at a time that suits them. In due course, your behavior may again come under their influence, either due to the passage of time or a shift in their strategy, making your response align with their intentions once more. In the event that your modified behavior proves unsustainable, the situation will revert to the state desired by the narcissist. In essence, when a narcissist becomes aware, whether consciously or unconsciously, of your ability to perceive their ways, they will strive to regain dominance over you. This realization typically leads to an accusatory statement from the individual and, most importantly, a change in behavior. If the narcissist cannot regain control, they are likely to sever all ties with you, particularly if you are their primary intimate partner, or place you on the shelf for an extended period if you are a secondary source. This is the general course of events. We appreciate your attention and dedication to understanding the complex dynamics involved in dealing with a narcissist. If you have found this information informative, we kindly ask that you like, share, and subscribe to our channel, allowing us to provide more insightful content. Remember, a better understanding of these patterns empowers us to make healthier decisions in our relationships, so knowledge is indeed power. Stay cautious and safe until next time.